All right, nephews. Welcome to Scroll 81. It's your favorite unk. It is currently 10:07 in the morning. I'm out on a run, and I wasn't even gonna start the scroll right now, but I'm standing at a railroad crossing, and this train has been passing by for like 5 minutes. So I'm literally just standing here, waiting on this big metal bitch to finish moving through the world. And I said, you know what? Let's start a scroll. Before I get into anything, make sure you follow the scrolls wherever you're listening. And if you on Spotify, leave a rating, because that helps me grow. But yeah, bro, without further ado, today is Saturday. I don't know what I'm gonna get into. What I do know is, I'm gonna get a haircut. And y'all know what that means. Transformation incoming. A nigga finna be brought back to life. So that'll be cool. And tomorrow, I'm going to my nephew's performance. That nigga is in a drama, so I gotta show up. I gotta be present. I gotta be a good uncle in real life. Because that matters, bro. I don't wanna be a deadbeat uncle. You know how some uncles only exist at Thanksgiving? They just show up, ask you how school going, eat 3 plates, fall asleep in the chair, and disappear for 9 months. Nah, I can't be that. I gotta actually be there. Last week I took one of my nephews out one-on-one, just to grab something to eat. And it hit me, bro. They only gonna be this young for so long. Eventually they're gonna go to college. They're gonna have friends. They're gonna have girls. They're gonna have lives. And one day, hanging out with Unk ain't gonna hit the same. That's just life. What can you do about it? So I try to enjoy it now, even though our hangouts mostly consist of me bullying him. And that's okay. That's love. Are y'all being good big brothers? Good uncles? Are y'all bullying y'all younger siblings? Because that's important. Matter of fact, if you're listening to this right now, go find your little brother and smack him in the back of the head one time. And when he say, why you do that? Say, because Unk told me to. That's mentorship. That's family structure. That's how you build character. But what's funny is, one day, some of y'all little brothers gonna be able to whoop y'all ass. And that's the sad part. I'm not always gonna be able to bully my nephews. One day, I'm gonna get old. They're gonna get stronger. They're gonna look at me like food. And I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna hold on to this era as long as I can. Because the day one of them little niggas can actually toss me around, I might shed a tear. But that's life. That's how it goes. It reminds me of me and my dad. Me and my dad used to wrestle all the time. We stayed locking up. And my dad was a big dude. Like 260. That's a big nigga, bro. What can you really do with that? When I was little, we would lock up. And next thing you know, this nigga throwing me across the room. I'm airborne. I'm fighting for survival. I'm in the living room getting suplexed by the man who paid the mortgage. But then I got around 17. And by 17, I was big. I was lifting football weights. I was a unit. And I'll never forget the first time I threw him. His eyes lit up. He could not believe it. He was like, get back up. Run it back. He needed confirmation. He thought it was a glitch in the Matrix. So we locked up again. And I threw him again. Then we did it again. And I think the third time, we put a hole in the wall. And that's when it was like, okay, you got it. But I still wouldn't really scrap my dad for real. That's still a grown man. That's still a big dude. But that moment taught me something. Eventually, the one under you is gonna overtake you. Your son gets stronger. Your nephew gets better. The student catches the teacher. The young lion starts looking at the old lion like lunch. And that's life. So enjoy your time at the top while you got it. Because my nephew beat me in Madden for the first time a few months ago. And I wanted to cry. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to sabotage the whole game. He was about to score the final touchdown, and I low-key wanted to throw myself into the TV and break that bitch. Just so he couldn't see the final score. That's how deep that shit was. I was like, no. You are not about to get the satisfaction of seeing visual proof that you beat Unk. But what can you do? The boy got me. And I think I might be too competitive. I'm starting to realize that might be a problem. Not a cute problem either. Like a genuine, nigga, why are you like this? Problem. But we working on it. So now I'm walking past the fairgrounds. And apparently there's an event going on called the Best Buddies Friendship Walk. And it looks wholesome as hell. Families everywhere. Kids running around. People smiling. Everybody in matching shirts. Just pure, clean, Pixar-adjacent community. And I'm looking at it like, damn. I can't even remember the last time I participated in some wholesome shit like this. I don't even watch Pixar movies anymore. Is that bad? Probably. I don't know. What I do know is, I don't see no baddies. Just soccer moms and organized happiness. So I will be walking briskly past this place. Respectfully. But nah, bro. It is a beautiful day. It's sunny. A little chilly. About 58 degrees. And I'm not mad at it. You gotta appreciate this time of year before it gets 100 degrees before noon. And I will argue this with anybody. That West Coast dry heat, Arizona, Nevada, all that shit, it got nothing on the South. Nothing. Because when it get hot down south, bro, that shit is suffocating. The air be thick. Thick and hot. You walk outside and it feel like the atmosphere trying to sit on your chest. Dry heat is just hot. Humid heat is personal. Humid heat feel like you swimming through the world. Like you walking through soup. The hottest thing I ever remember was this football camp in New Orleans. It was at the Saints practice facility. Drew Brees was there, which was crazy. That shit was cool as hell. I wanted that LSU offer so bad. I'm not gonna lie. LSU and Tennessee were my dream schools. We went down there for this camp. Tulane was there. LSU was there. All these Louisiana schools were there. So me and my parents took the trip down to New Orleans. And bro, my parents, God bless them, but they do not know how to enjoy life. We in New Orleans, one of the greatest food cities in America. Flavor in the air. History in the streets. Every building looked like it knows a secret. And all these niggas worried about is getting back home. I'm like, bro, can we breathe? Can we look around? Can we maybe eat something that wasn't created in a strip mall? Tell me why we in New Orleans, surrounded by all that good food, and these niggas want to stop at Raising Cane's. Brother, we got Raising Cane's in Nashville. We pass Raising Cane's every week. Why are we in Louisiana eating the same chicken fingers we could eat 15 minutes from the house? Same thing happened when we went to Atlanta. All that food in Atlanta. All that culture. All them spots. And these niggas stopped at Burger King. Get the fuck out of here, man. I promise I'll never be like that. And I understand wanting to get home. I understand being tired. But how often do you go to New Orleans? How often do you get moments like that? Sometimes you really gotta slow down and smell the flowers. Because rushing back home ain't gonna make that 8-hour drive feel better. You still gotta drive that bitch. You might as well live a little before you suffer. That's one thing I learned from my parents that I want to do different. Not because they bad people, but because sometimes they move like the destination is the only thing that matters. And I'm learning the story is in the detour. The story is in the food spot you almost skipped. The story is in taking your time. The story is in saying, fuck it, let's look around. So yeah, bro, fast forward a little bit. I finished my walk, got home, took a shower. Now I'm on my way to get my hair cut. And I'm wondering what me and my barber are gonna talk about today. Because with my barber, we never know. Sometimes we talking about women. Sometimes we talking about money. Sometimes we talking about God. Sometimes we talking about the downfall of man. You never know what type of mood that nigga gonna be in. But I'm not gonna lie, guys. I've been doing some soul searching. Kind of. Not really, but kind of. And I think I might have main character syndrome. Like, genuinely. I just might. Now granted, if there is a nigga that should have main character syndrome, it's probably me. Because my life is kind of a movie. I make scrolls. Y'all follow the story. I narrate my life out loud, so it kind of works in my favor. But it's interesting, because I didn't know there was a term for how I see life. Because I genuinely see the world this way. Small moments that don't mean much to other people mean a lot to me. A train stopping me during a run. A nephew beating me in Madden. A haircut before a random Saturday. A dad getting thrown for the first time. A train taking 5 minutes to pass. A random family event at the fairgrounds. To somebody else, that's nothing. To me, that's a scene. That's symbolism. That's texture. That's God leaving little sticky notes in the world like, pay attention. And I don't know if that's main character syndrome, or if that's just being a writer. Maybe it's both. Maybe the only difference between a writer and a delusional nigga is who actually finishes the script. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do today. And that's been a theme lately. I think I low-key built the social life I wanted. My life feels colorful again. There was a time where I was desperate for something to happen. Desperate to get outside. Desperate to meet people. Desperate to feel like I had motion. Now I got motion. And I'm tired. Nashville had the Black Farmers Market yesterday. They do it once a month. It's basically big cookout vibes. Music, vendors, black people outside looking good, smelling good, selling shea butter, lemonade, candles, wings, art, shirts, all that shit. I could have went, but I was tired. I genuinely did not want to go. And I don't know what that means. Recently, I just been wanting to chill. I've been wanting to hang with my close connections. But then I think about it. I can't fully afford to get too comfortable in that. Because if I move to another state, I won't have close connections yet. If I move to California or wherever God takes me, I can't just be like, man, I don't feel like meeting nobody. Because nigga, you won't know nobody. So the first few weeks of this social life revamp were great. I was outside. I was meeting people. I was building rhythm. But now, a month in, I'm tired. And I'm trying to figure out, do you keep pushing? Or do you slow down before you burn yourself out? That's a real question. Because sometimes discipline and burnout be wearing the same jacket. You think you're being consistent, but really you frying your nervous system. And I don't know where that line is yet. We'll see what happens tonight. I need to get back on my discipline vibe. Because sometimes I feel like my emotions hold too much weight in my decision-making. My emotions are heavy, bro. Them hoes way too much. I feel everything so intensely. And that's a good thing, but it's also a curse. Because some things that are not that deep feel extremely deep in the moment. Something small happens, and my brain starts producing a Netflix limited series. And I'm like, bro, this was a text message. Why are we scoring this like the end of The Dark Knight? So I gotta work on emotional regulation. Thank God for deep fried logic, because I can unleash my emotions here. This is the place where the feelings can go. But I do feel like I've been operating too much off emotion lately. And as a man, that's not always great. As an artist, it's beautiful. As a writer, it's fuel. As a person trying to build consistency and momentum, it can be dangerous. Because art loves emotion. but success loves systems. And I gotta learn how to have both. I can't just be out here waiting to feel like it. Feelings are useful, but feelings are not always leaders. Sometimes feelings need to sit in the back seat and shut the hell up while discipline drives. That's what I'm working on. Managing these emotions. Not killing them. Not pretending I don't feel. Just not letting them run the whole franchise, because there's always something we can work on. For me right now, it's that. Emotional regulation. Discipline. Consistency. And speaking of consistency, I need to make these scrolls more consistent. At first, I was thinking maybe 2 scrolls a week. But now I'm like, nah, I can do more. I gotta look at this shit like Stephen A. Smith. That nigga is on TV talking every damn day. Every day. Hot takes flying. Eyebrows moving. Voice raised. Somebody getting blamed for the Cowboys. If he can do that every day, I can do this. Now that don't mean y'all gonna get a scroll every single day. But it means I'm gonna try my best every day. Because this is day 345 of Deep Fried Logic. Day 345. That is crazy. A year ago, I was just a guy talking into my phone. Now this feels like a real universe. Like an actual world. And that makes me wonder where we're gonna be a year from now. Because don't get me wrong, my boys. I'm still trying to make it to the top. I still want to get to California. Hollywood. Animation. Studios. Writers' rooms. The whole thing. I still want to turn Deep Fried Logic into something legendary. But I'm also realizing the backstory is just as important. What I do in Tennessee matters. How long I stay here matters. The relationships I build here matter. The jobs I work here matter. The random walks matter. The barber talks matter. The run clubs matter. The coaching football matters. Working in a school matters. Cleaning toilets matters. All this real life shit matters. Because this is what's gonna make me a better storyteller. You can't tell real stories if you never lived real life. And sometimes I be wanting to hurry up and get to the big part. The success part. The California part. The legendary part. But God might be like, nah, nigga. We still in Act 1. You still need scenes. You still need characters. You still need struggle. You still need texture. You still need ordinary days that become extraordinary in hindsight. That's what Tennessee is. This is the backstory. This is the origin arc. This is where the character gets built before the world knows his name. So I'm taking it one day at a time. If it feels right, I'll move. If it don't, I won't. Some things you gotta leave up to God. Because God is steering this ship. God is writing this story. And I'm just narrating it out loud. That's all this is. A nigga living his life and reading the subtitles as they appear. So I think I'm gonna leave it here, guys. Keep God first. Be a real nigga. Do the right thing. And don't stop. Because once you stop, your dreams stop. Have a good day or night, nephews. Unc loves you.